Apple's It's Glowtime event was just a couple of days ago now, and we've had some time to sit and digest everything that was announced, and even learn more about the upcoming iPhones, Apple Watches, and even AirPods. So let's talk about my reaction to the event, because I thought this event was actually very interesting, although there was some points where I was like, I'm so close to turning this off, I'm not even paying attention, which was a first for an Apple event, at least for me. Now, I did also feel it went too much into the route of, this is everything that your iPhone can do once we release Apple Intelligence, and also this is all the specs that we have changed in your phone, so now the new phone has all of this stuff. And I also think they spent so much time talking about the changes they made to the camera system that while changes are very nice, I'm not opposed to them in any way, shape, or form. Seeing the fact that we were talking about it for so long, and as someone who knows very little about cameras and ISO and frame rates and all this stuff, I basically just use whatever Apple gives me, which is how all these videos are filmed. They're filmed just with my iPhone or a Canon camera, and I've learned a little bit more about it, but frankly, I personally believe whatever you have on you is the best camera. You're never going to look at a photo and be like, oh, I wish I took this on this camera or that camera, because you can capture the moment. And that's really what it comes down to. Now, don't get me wrong, I am still going to upgrade my personal iPhone 15 Pro Max and also my Apple Watch Ultra 2 to a Series 10. So we're going to talk about that first. So the Apple Watch lineup. We only got upgrades to the Series 10 and a new colorway for the Ultra 2. Now, we finally got that black titanium color, which I have been asking for since the Ultra has released, and I am so happy that we finally got one. But seeing how it basically is not getting any new features and actually loses one over my current Apple Watch Ultra 2, I can't justify upgrading and losing features, mainly because of the fact that I can't justify upgrading for that heavy of a price and losing features that I've liked having. So the Apple Watch Ultra 2, as of January of 2024, the Apple Watch has no longer had blood oxygen tracking due to an ongoing patent battle with Masimo. Now, we haven't really gotten any word or anything from Apple officially telling us that it'll come back at any point, but I do personally believe that once this lawsuit is resolved, Apple will definitely be able to just re-enable it. As right now, the hardware is still there. It's in the Ultra 2s, the Series 10, the Series 9, and all those watches that it is currently disabled on. But it will come back as Apple just has to release an update that turns it back on, essentially. Which I think is pretty nice that they're still not skipping the technology if you are buying one later on. But as someone who has an Apple Watch Ultra 2 that can take blood oxygen, this is something I personally would like to not lose out on. Now, I am going to a Series 10, and what made that decision for me was two things. The night before the event, we heard rumors that Apple was not going to release an Ultra 3, which personally I did not believe, but that's exactly what happened. But also, for the second reason, when Apple revealed the Series 10, there was something about it that just struck me as, yes, it is the 10th generation Apple Watch, but seeing how nice the design is and how the aluminum looked stainless steel, and also the fact that there's now titanium if you want to get that and save money, but also because of the fact that the Ultra lineup didn't get upgraded, I felt compelled to just go to the Series 1, mainly because I'm going to keep my Ultra 2 around, so I'll have the option to kind of change between the Apple Watch Series 10 and the Ultra 2, and the Series 10 got a complete redesign, coming in at 42 and 46 millimeters, and it's also the biggest Apple Watch we've ever seen. It's actually bigger than the Apple Watch Ultra, and Apple had this graphic on screen during the event that I'm going to throw up right here, and I thought it was very cool that they showed basically, it is ultrification of the Apple Watch series lineup, which I personally am a big fan of the Apple Watch Ultra design, and seeing that this Apple Watch Series 10 got some of that treatment was very nice. You know, we can finally play media out loud, we get new sleep apnea detection once it is cleared by the FDA, which is coming to the Ultra 2 and Series 9, which is nice that Apple isn't reserving this just for the Series 10. It also has an S10 processor, and I'm curious to see if Apple's going to bring Apple Intelligence to it later on down the road, but right now they didn't mention anything about Apple Intelligence for the Apple Watch Series 10 at their event, so we're going to have to see. Now, the iPhone. Personally, I am going with the white titanium iPhone 16 Pro Max again, so it's basically it's the upgrade from the white titanium 15 Pro Max. I've really been a big fan of the color, as this year I wasn't a fan of any of the colors that Apple released for the Pro lineup. The 16 lineup got such gorgeous colors. The regular ones, they're so vibrant, and finally Apple has brought colors back. I don't know what Apple's problem has been with colors for the past few years, but we finally got colors back. I really like them. They're very vibrant and they stand out. Now, the cameras on the regular 16s is very reminiscent of the iPhone 10, 10s, and even the 12 series, which I think is very interesting that Apple kind of went backwards, but this was it to add spatial photos and videos to the cheaper lineup for the Apple Vision Pro if you ever want to get one. Now, I do think that's nice to have the photos and really just the big heavy hitting features being brought down to the cheaper lineup because they got the action button and even the capture button, which I thought was very nice that you showed some love to the average user who doesn't care about the camera and all the camera quality and all of these things. And I'm also very interested to see the new cooling system coming to the Pros, and I believe the regular 16s, as the iPhones just run hot. They run so hot lately. I've actually had to put an iPhone in the fridge the other day because of the fact that it overheated, which I just thought was very interesting that Apple has basically been making these big performance jumps. You know, we have the A18 Pro and the A18 chip for the Apple Intelligence, but they haven't been willing to give us the cooling to make sure our phones don't overheat just from breathing the wrong way on it. And my iPhone 15 Pro Max has definitely gotten hot way more than it should have. But we also even got new AirPods 4. Now, personally, I hate the design of the regular AirPods, mainly because I feel like they're going to fall out of my ears because they don't, like, hook in. Now, I think this is for two reasons, because I'm so used to the AirPod Pros where I can have that kind of in-ear fit. But seeing that you can now get noise cancellation without having to upgrade to the Pros is very nice, and you also get the sound through the case and all of the kind of new features that the Pros have been getting, which is very nice. As for the AirPod Maxes, seeing that Apple literally just said, here's new colors, just like they did with the Apple Watch Ultra, I thought was very interesting because why not show the AirPod Max lineup some love and at least give it the H2 chip, which has been out for a very long time with the AirPod Pros. You know, we got it back in 2022, so it is now a 2-year-old chip that at least, and I think Apple should kind of, throw it in to the AirPod Maxes because then they would make people a compelling upgrade, and B, also you upgraded the color in the USB-C, why not throw in more powerful internals? Because I personally really love them, although they're lacking a lot of features. But let me know what you're most excited for about the event, and also make sure you're subscribed for my full coverage of the iPhone 16 Pro Max and even the Apple Watch Series 10 once it is released next week. And I want you to remember that today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one.